Hey guys! So this weekend on Saturday, I have a stream to celebrate the 1-year webcomic anniversary of my webcomic, 7-Inch Kara. The stream is going to go on from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. CST, and I've got all sorts of fun activities and giveaways planned, including 2 copies of 7-Inch Kara, one at the beginning of the stream and one at the end, and I am also giving away that Body-chan figurine that I unboxed in that recent unboxing. So if that sounds cool to you, you guys should definitely make it a point to swing by this channel from anywhere from 7 to 10 p.m. and check out the stream. I'm also going to be doing a Copic marker demonstration. I'm going to be doing a tiny art supply / tiny drawing challenge. I mean, just all kinds of fun stuff, and I'm going to be talking about my comic and my experiences with having a webcomic versus my experiences working as a print comic artist, my experiences with promoting my webcomic and being part of the Inkdrop Cafe webcomic collective. I'm going to show you guys the pages from chapter 7, my most recently completed chapter. Nobody has seen those, or very few people have seen those pages, so that is a huge sneak peek. And I'm also going to flip through volume 1 and just sort of talk about the process of working on a long form watercolor project. It has been a really interesting year for me. A lot has happened. I've tried a lot of new things. I've learned a lot of new things. I've been part of the comic creating community since I was 13, but this was the first time I was able to participate in the webcomic community as a creator who creates webcomics and not just as a participant. If you guys are looking to get caught up on 7-Inch Kara, you can do so one of 3 ways. You can do it through 7inchkara.com, you can do it through 7inchkara.tumblr.com, or you can use Archive Binge. I highly recommend you guys check Archive Binge out. You can find it at archivebinge.com. And it's an amazing webcomic organization and just a tool for keeping up with your webcomic reading, especially if you enjoy comics that aren't hosted on sites like Tapastic or Webtoons. It can be really easy to lose your place within your webcomic. You know, you quit reading it for whatever reason, and then when you come back to it, you have no idea where you left off. Comic Binge keeps your place. Archive Binge keeps your place for you. And it keeps track of your place through multiple webcomics, so you can create a list of your favorites and then be able to find where you left off just by logging back into Archive Binge. It is really fantastic. I use it. The other members of Inkdrop Cafe use it. It was created by one of our own members, Respeel, the creator of the webcomic Galebound, which you should also check out, especially if you love magic and adventure. I highly recommend it. But they're good people, and Archive Binge is great stuff. And if you like webcomics or you've been meaning to get into webcomics, that is a great way to do it. And you guys can find a link to that down below. I really recommend you get caught up on 7-Inch Kara there. And it would be amazing. It would really mean the world to me if you guys who are watching this would take the time. If you haven't yet, take the time, make it a point, since the birthday is coming up, to go check out 7-Inch Kara. It would be really amazing to be able to talk to you guys about my comic in detail and answer in detail questions about my work on the stream. It would really mean a lot to me, and it would just really make it a wonderful birthday celebration. So in this little time-lapse video thing, I am using the Jane Davenport Mermaid Markers in a Canson XL mixed media sketchbook, along with Pilot Color Eno lead in soft pink, to do just a really cute little illustration doodle. I don't normally work with mermaid markers in this capacity. I would normally use the Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers for something like this, but I thought using the mermaid markers would be really fun because they're very juicy, they're very vibrant, there's a lot of color to them. They are dye-based watercolor markers. Dye-based does not make them unusual on the market. There are loads of watercolor markers that are dye-based. What makes them unusual is they utilize a water brush body. Now this is a good thing and this is a bad thing. It means you get those individual bristles, you can do big, nice, juicy lines, you can also do very, very fine lines, and the ink flow keeps up. with those big, nice, juicy lines, but it gets really drippy on the fine lines. And I have a demonstration of these, and I also have a review of these, which you guys can check out if they're looking interesting to you. You can get them for a decent price on Amazon right now, but I would avoid getting them from Michaels or from JaneDavenport.com unless you have a coupon for them. But they are a fun toy to play with. I'm not super thrilled about the color range. I have two sets. I have the original 12, and then I have Sunbleached, which is 6 pastel colors, which are just a little too pastel for them to be useful for me. And I may or may not opt to get the Shipwrecked set, which has darker colors, since my work does tend to utilize a lot of darker colors. But I thought this would be a really fun way to let you guys know about the stream on Saturday and to kind of play around with these markers and to have a really cute graphic so I can promote the stream. And my only problem with this piece, well, there's a few problems. It was kind of wet today, so when I used the water brush to blend out the peachy skin tone color, it just sat on the paper for like 30 minutes. It took forever to dry. And then when I tried to do color to color blending, like you see there on Kara, the paper did not hold on to the moisture in the ink long enough, so it didn't blend as much as I was hoping. I think if I used it on a watercolor paper, even a cotton rag watercolor paper, it would really hold on to that moisture and I could do a little bit more blending. And I'm just going in. So normally Kara's eyes are more of like a warm kind of chocolatey brown. So I usually start with orange as the base color for my highlight, but you know, this set doesn't have an orange and it doesn't actually have very many browns. The only brown the original 12 has is Reef, which is kind of like a cocoa or a coffee brown. It's a very, very dark brown, and it's kind of a desaturated brown as well. So it wasn't really the color I wanted, but I made it work. And I think the next time I use these, I'm actually already working on kind of a follow-up illustration so I can figure out how to make these markers work for me in a more sustainable way, something I'm going to grab more often, because right now they're really not the first thing I grab. But I'm already working on another illustration to kind of figure that out. And then I'm going to use it's another Jane Davenport water brush. It's just filled with plain water. I was sort of thinking if I did a water glycerin mix, I could get better blending without just completely saturating the paper. So I may have to play around with that. And that might end up being something I like with some of my other water-based markers. But for this, it's just plain water. And I am using Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White. And I'm mixing it in the cap. Now, the only real problem with this is the Jane Davenport brushes, be it the mermaid markers or her water brushes, are very, very drippy. I don't know what it is about them, but they're very drippy. Even if you're holding them super lightly, still drip-a-rama. So that was definitely a problem, especially when I tried to paint her waistband. It ended up just dripping all over the place. Now I apologize that this got rotated here. I am using a waterproof zebra brush pen to just kind of ink over, tighten everything. I'm going to have to try and move my camera setup since I'm right-handed. It really shouldn't be on the right hand because my hand seems to always be blocking the shot, and I apologize for that. But I'm just kind of going over everything, tightening it all up. I really think when I get to the stage where I start adding white highlights, it really adds a lot. It really makes the piece look a lot more vibrant and lively. That's kind of the fun stage when I start adding highlights to the eyes and to the hair. And then it's really nice when I do the after inking to see everything come together. And at this point, I had let this piece dry for a couple of hours. I'd run some errands, but it was just very damp today, and these inks were taking a really long time to dry. So what ended up happening is I put my hand over the 7 p.m. You guys can see that right now. I ended up picking up some of that ink, and it ends up monoprinting on Kara's leg. It wasn't the biggest deal, but it was kind of disappointed that it happened. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I apologize for the rotated camera. That's not good. And I hope you guys will check out my stream on Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. Central Time. Got all sorts of goodies planned for you guys. I am really excited. Come help me celebrate the birthday of my webcomic, 7-Inch Kara, which you guys can check out at 7inchkara.com or 7inchkara.tumblr.com. I hope to see you guys then, and I hope you guys will have a great day. Bye!